welcome again to my channel, Food for HNM. Remember, I would I will appreciate you, you know, if you continue, just keep coming back and watch. Hopefully, it's somewhat entertaining and you may learn, but I just would like you, because I'm a missionary, to always keep in mind that, you know, the world is not that bad of a place. Keep hope alive and keep your faith. Okay, so this is Joshua 19. There's a title here, Allotment for Simeon. Remember, Simeon is a tribe of Israel. We are talking about ancient Israel, how they became a country. It was because of a promise to one man named Abraham. God, the Creator, He created everything you see. People, this planet. And we now know the universe, not just galaxies. The universe is vast. He created all of it. And He promised to Abraham. He called him out of this place called Ur. He said, leave, your country, your land. Leave your people, even your relatives, and go to where I will show you. And Abraham believed God. He obeyed. And then God, step by step, God just kept promising him things. He promised him that he will be great as long as he keeps being the way he is. He was a cool dude, like a righteous dude. Kind of like a priest too, like a holy guy. But he was an excellent guy with, he was a great warrior too. And he just told him, just keep being you, and I will make you have many descendants, like the number of stars in the sky, like the number of, like pieces of soil on the ground, or dust on the ground. And I will make you into a nation, which is a country. And there will be kings in your country. But, Abraham said, but Allah is sovereign Lord, something like that. I do not have an heir, I'm old, I'm getting old. I am 90 something. And my wife Sarah and I, Sarai, we do not have an heir. We don't have a son. And God said, Abraham, don't worry about it. I will give you a son. He just couldn't believe it, He's like, I'm an old guy, I'm going to have a son at this age. And guess what? He did have a son. He had two sons. He had one named Ishmael first. Then he had Isaac second. But Isaac was his promised son. That's the one that, Israel, through Abraham and Isaac, they would create. That's the promise. Son of promise means the nation part of that, to make Abraham into a country. It would be through Isaac. And then his oldest son, Ishmael, became all these Muslim countries that all the people, not every single person, but many of those people in the Muslim countries, they probably are the descendants of Ishmael. So Simeon is a tribe of Israel. If Israel is a country, and we have U.S. is a country, the United States is a country. It's 50 states. This ancient Israel, this country of ancient Israel, not the one right now, has like 12 states. And the tribe of Simeon, it's a large group of people. Now they're going to get their land, which is like a state. Okay, so the second lot came out for the tribe of Simeon, according to its clans. Their inheritance, that's the land that they would get, lay within the territory of Judah. So if you've been following the videos, Judah is in the south. So this is a very strange. Usually states are side by side, either above or below. But Simeon's land is within Judah. It's like a state within a state. It included Beersheba or Sheba, Molada, Hazar Shual, Bala, Ezem, Eltolad, Bethul, Orma, Ziklag, Beth Markaboth, Azar, Susa, Beth Lebaoth. You may have heard the word Zavaoth. That sounds similar. Beth Lebaoth, and Sharuhen, 13 towns and their villages. Ain, Rimon, Ether or Ether, and Ashan, 4 towns and their villages, and all the villages around these towns as far as Baalath Bir or Be'ir. Baalath Bir or Baalath Be'ir. Ramah in the Negev. So remember, the Negev is a desert. This was the inheritance, that's my air conditioning, of the tribe of the Simeonites according to its clans. The inheritance of the Simeonites was taken from the share of Judah, because Judah's portion was more than they needed. So the Simeonites received their inheritance, their land, within the territory of Judah. Okay, so maybe it's not like Simeon inside of Judah, but somehow it's just, I don't know, somewhere. Somewhere. The next section, allotment for Zebulun. The third lot came up for Zebulun, according to its clans. The boundary of their inheritance went as far as Sarid. Going west, it ran to Maralah, touched Dabasheth, and extended to the ravine near Jokneam. It turned east from Sarid toward the sunrise to the territory of Kisloth Tabor, or Tabor, right? Yeah, I think it's Tabor. Kisloth Tabor, and went on to Daberath and up to Japhia or Japhia. I think it's Japhia. If there's an H there, it's Japhia. But without the H, it's Japhia. Then it continued eastward to Gath Hefer and Kazin. It came out at Rimmon and turned toward Nea. There the boundary went around on the north to Hanathon and ended at the valley of Iftah-el. Those are 2 words, Iftah-el. Included were Katach, Nahalal, Shibron, Idalah, and Bethlehem. There were 12 towns and their villages. These towns and their villages and their villages were the inheritance of Zebulun according to its clans. The next section is titled Allotment for Issachar. The 4th lot came out for Issachar. Hang in there. I think there will be just a few more lots, came out for Issachar according to its clans. Their territory included Jezreel, Kesuloth, Shunem, Hapharaim, Shion, Anaharath, Rabith, Kishion, Ebez, Remeth, En Ganim, En Hadar, and Beth Pazez. The boundary touched Tabor, Shahazuma, and Beth Shemesh, and ended at the Jordan. There were 16 towns and their villages. These towns and their villages were the inheritance of the tribe of Issachar. Issachar according to its clans. Allotment for Asher or Asher. The fifth lot. Remember, they drew lots, so it's like drawing straws. The fifth lot came out for the tribe of Asher or Asher, according to its clans. Their territory included Helkath, Hali, Beten, Akshaph, Alamelech, Amad, and Mishal. On the west, the boundary touched Carmel and Shehor Libnath. It then turned east toward Beth Dagon, touched Zebulun and the valley of Ifta-el, and went north to Beth Emek and Nelel. Passing Kabul on the left, it went to Abaddon, Rehob, Hammon, and Kana, as far as Greater Sidon. The boundary then turned back toward Ramah and went to the fortified city of Tyre, turned toward Hosea, and came out at the Mediterranean Sea in the region of Akzib, Umah, Aphek, and Rehob. There were 22 towns and their villages. These towns and their villages were the inheritance of the tribe of Asher or Asher, according to its clans. The next section is titled The Allotment. Allotment for Naphtali. The sixth lot came out for Naphtali, according to its clans. Their boundary went from Heleph and the large tree. Oh, there's a large tree. In Za'ananim or Za'ananim, passing Adami Nekeb and Jabneel to Lakam and ending at the Jordan. The boundary ran west through Asnath Tabor and came out at Hukok. It touched Zebulun on the south, Asher or Asher on the west, and the Jordan on the east. So to the south of it was Zebulun, and to the west of it, Asher. Okay, so these are more north. Remember, if you will watch my earlier videos, Asher is to the north of Joseph, or Manasseh and Ephraim. So Naphtali's inheritance, the land, is more to the northeast, but it's still west of the Jordan. Jordan River. The fortified towns were Ziddim, Zil, Hamath, Rakah, Kinnereth, Adama, Ramah, Hazor, or Hazor, Kedesh, Edrei, En Hazor, Iron, Migdal, El, Migdal. You know, Mary of Magdalene, I think she was Miriam Migdal. She may have been from Migdal. Mary of Magdalene. She looks like Magdalene. Migdalel. Horem, Beth Anath, and Beth Shemesh. There were 19 towns and their villages. These towns and their villages were the inheritance of the tribe of Naphtali, according to its clans. Allotment. This next section is titled Allotment for Dan. The seventh lot came out for the tribe of Dan, according to its clans. The territory of their inheritance included Zorah, Eshtaol, Ir Shemesh, Sha'alabin, Aijalon, Ithla, Elon, Timnah, Ekron, El-Teke, Gibbethon, Baalath, Yehud or Yehud, Bnei Barak, Gath, Rimon, Me, Jarkon, and Rakon, with the area facing Joppa. Joppa is, I think Joppa might be in Greece. Not Joppa, like, it's not Japan. You know, Japan, you know, Japanese people. Joppa. I think Joppa is in Greece. Let's take a look. Google, where is Joppa? Joppa, according to Google, it's taking a while, is the Greek name for the town of Jaffa, which is located south. Joppa is also the name of a Greek city-state in the 1981 movie Clash of the Titans. So that's the Joppa we're looking for, the Greek city-state. When the territory, verse 47, when the territory of the Danites was lost to them, they went up and attacked Leshem, took it, put it to the sword, and occupied it. They settled in Leshem and named it Dan after their ancestor. These towns and their villages were the inheritance of the tribe of Dan, according to its clans. The next section is called Allotment. Allotment for Joshua. When they had finished dividing the land into its allotted portions, the Israelites gave Joshua, we're talking about Yehoshua, son of Nun, an inheritance among them as the Lord had commanded. They gave him the town he asked for, Timnath Serah, in the hill country of Ephraim. So you got to remember, Joshua is the leader. So this has to be a nice piece of land. Yeah, probably the best. Timnath Serah, in the hill country of Ephraim. And he built up the town and settled there. These are the territories that Eleazar, the priest, Joshua, Yehoshua, son of Nun, and the heads of the tribal clans of Israel, assigned by lot at Shiloh, in the presence of the Lord, at the entrance to the tent of meeting. And so they finished dividing the land. Go on to Joshua 20. I need to reconnect to my internet connection. Sometimes people try to use your internet connection. That causes you to fall off, you know, disconnect. So you just have to reconnect. We are experiencing technical difficulties. We apologize. I'll show you my barking hand. The dog. He does it weird. Joshua 20. It is titled Cities of Refuge. Then the Lord said to Joshua, Yehoshua, tell the Israelites to designate the cities of refuge, as I instructed you through Moses, so that anyone who kills a person accidentally and unintentionally may flee there and find protection from the avenger of blood. When they flee to one of these cities, they are to stand in the entrance of the city gate and state their case before the elders of that city. Then the elders are to admit the fugitive into their city and provide a place to live among them. If the avenger of blood comes in pursuit, the elders must not surrender the fugitive, because the fugitive killed their neighbor unintentionally and without malice aforethought. They are to stay in that city until they have stood trial before the assembly and until the death of the high priest who is serving at that time. So, to protect a person who may be hunted down for accidentally killing someone, they stay in a city of refuge. But they have to stand trial and until the death of the high priest. They can only stay there until the death of the high priest. When the high priest changes to the next high priest, then they may go back. So I guess enough time has passed, so people would have sort of forgotten what he did, and he would, be safe again. Okay, then they may go back to the town. Then they may go back to their own home in the town from which they fled. Okay, so you just keep going. So they set apart Kadesh in Galilee, in the hill country of Naphtali, Shechem in the hill country of Ephraim, and Kiriath Arba, that is Hebron, in the hill country of Judah, east of the Jordan, on the other side from Jericho. It is designated Bezel, in the wilderness on the plateau, in the tribe of Reuben. Ramoth or Ramoth in Gilead in the tribe of Gad, and Golan in Bashan, in the tribe of Manasseh or Manasseh. Any of the Israelites or any foreigner residing among them who killed someone accidentally could flee to these designated cities. So, or you know what I'm talking about. Like, if you accidentally killed people in these territories, then you go to this city or these cities of refuge. They could flee to these designated cities and not be killed by the avenger of blood prior to standing trial before the assembly. Okay, we're almost done with Joshua, the book of Joshua. Joshua 21. Again, Joshua 21, the next section is called or titled Towns for the Levites. Now the family heads of the Levites approached Eleazar the priest, Joshua, son Yehoshua, son of Nun, and the heads of the other tribal families of Israel at Shiloh in Canaan, and said to them, the Lord commanded through Moses that you give us towns to live in with pasture lands for our livestock. So as the Lord had commanded, the Israelites gave the Levites the following towns and pasture lands out of their own inheritance. The first lot came out for the Kohathites, according to their clans. The Levites, who were descendants of Aaron the priest, were allotted 13 towns from the tribes of Judah, Simeon, and Benjamin. The rest of Kohath's descendants were allotted 10 towns from the clans of the tribes of Ephraim, Dan, and the half tribe of Manasseh or Manasseh. The descendants of Gershon were allotted 13 towns from the clans of the tribes of Issachar, Asher or Asher, Naphtali, and the half tribe of Manasseh in Bashan. The descendants of Merari, according to their clans, received 12 towns from the tribes of Reuben, Gad, and Zebulun. So the Israelites allotted to the Levites these towns and their pasture lands, as the Lord had commanded through Moses. From the tribes of Judah and Simeon, they allotted the following towns by name. These towns were assigned to the descendants of Aaron. Aaron, who were from the Kohathites and power clans of the Levites, because the first lot fell to them. They gave them Kiriath Arba, that is Hebron, with its surrounding pasture land, in the hill country of Judah. Arba was the forefather of Anak, but the fields of villages around the city they had given to Caleb, son of Jephunneh, as his possession. So to the descendants of Aaron, the priest, they gave Hebron, a city of refuge, for one accused of murder, Libnah, Jatir, Eshtemoa, Olon, Debir, Ain, Juta, and Beth Shemesh. Together with their pasture lands, 9 towns from these 2 tribes, and from the tribe of Benjamin they gave them Gibeon, Geba, Anathoth, and Almon, together with their pasture lands, 4 towns. The total number of towns for the priests, the descendants of Aaron, came to 13. So 13 is the name of the total number of towns for the priests, together with their pasture lands, the rest of the Kohathite clans. So you know, priests, a priest's number is 13. That means people. The rest of the Kohathite clans of the Levites were allotted towns from the tribe of Ephraim. In the hill country of Ephraim, they were given Shechem, a city of refuge, for one accused of murder, and Gezer, Kibzaim, and Beth Horon, together with their pasture lands, 4 towns. Also from the tribe of Dan they received Eltekeh, Gibbethon, Aljalon, and Gath Rimmon, together with their pasture lands, 4 towns. From half the tribe of Manasseh they received Ta'anak and Gath Rimmon, together with their pasture lands, 2 towns. All these 10 towns and their pasture lands were given to the rest of the Kohathite clans. The Levite clans of the Gershonites were given from the half tribe of Manasseh, Golan in Bashan, a city of refuge for one accused of murder, and Be Eshtera, together with their pasture lands, 2 towns from the tribe of Issachar, Kishion, Dabarath, Jarmuth, and En-Ganim, together with their pasture lands, 4 towns. From the tribe of Asher, Mishal, Abdon, Helkath, and Rehob, together with their pasture lands, 4 towns. From the tribe of Naphtali, Kedesh in Galilee, a city of refuge, for one accused of murder, Hamath, Dor, and Kartan, together with their pasture lands, 3 towns. The total number of towns of the Gershonite clans came to 13, together with their pasture lands. The Merarite clans, the rest of the Levites, were given from the tribe of Zebulun, Jokneam, Karta, Dimnah, and Nahalal, together with their pasture lands, 4 towns. From the tribe of Reuben, Bezer, Jahaz, Kedemoth, and Mephaath, together with their pasture lands, 4 towns. From the tribe of Gad, Ramoth in Gilead, a city of refuge, for one accused of murder, Mahanaim, Heshbon, and Jazel, together with their pasture lands, 4 towns in all. The total number of towns allotted to the Merarite clans, who were the rest of the Levites, came to 12. So 12 is also a priestly number, 12 and 13, like the 12 disciples. And 13th might be the Apostle Paul. The towns of the Levites in the territory held by the Israelites were 48 in all. So 48, together with their pasture lands. Each of these towns had pasture lands surrounding it. This was true for all these towns. So they had pasture lands. They could put their animals out there, let them graze and drink, drink from the river, eat grass. So the Lord gave Israel all the land he had sworn to give their ancestors. So the Lord kept his promise. It took a while, but if you follow all my videos, the Lord led them all the way, was with them, or sent Kadosh Malachim to lead them, advise them, fed them, taught them through Moses. He taught Moses to teach them. So the Lord is a good God, and they took possession of it and settled there. The Lord gave them rest on every side, just as he had sworn to their ancestors. Not one of their enemies withstood them. The Lord gave all their enemies into their hands. Not one of all the Lord's good promises to Israel failed. Every promise was fulfilled. Amen. Amen to that. God is good all the time. So keep God first. So take your place.